Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Format's a little bit different. You can see my background is a little different. Guys, we are here for the weekly update. I've had to pare back my show a little bit just due to IRL commitments and the holiday season. Things have been a little crazy around the house. Getting ready for a trip. Going to go visit the folks with the kids. It's going to be a great time for everybody involved. But I will be traveling, so streaming will be a little more difficult. So I will try and bring you just a weekly update. And if I can, I will do some on-the-ground interview type stuff. But guys, thank you for showing up. This is the weekly update. Save Venezuela. I don't know what from, Lucas, but thank you for the chat. Save it from communism. I mean, I would agree with that. Communism hasn't really helped anybody. Maduro nationalizing most things hasn't really ended well. Just saying. But yeah, guys, go ahead and check out the profile. Profile. You can go to patriotdad.org. You can find different ways to support me. You can join the Patriot Dad family community there. You can also directly tip here on X if you're looking for a way. I'm trying to get set up. I have Stream Elements. You will be able to do direct tipping there as well as an option because, well, I really don't like super chats on YouTube because super chats on YouTube means that Alphabet's getting a huge cut of it, and I'm not a huge fan of Alphabet, so check that out. Also, check out the website, guys, patriotdad.org. This was made for me by Siraj himself, so check it out. You can buy me a coffee. That's another way to support. There is merch up there from Shell, as well as... It's like, while we're on this source, it is not set to filters, chroma key. It's not chroma keying right. Well, that's fun. Anyways, is there a background color? Is that why? Camera border. Maybe hide that. There we go. Okay, that works. Guys, merch up there for myself. We have merch up there for Shell as well as Karen. You can check out the Men's Empowerment Network website to learn more information about my business there. And you can look at X, YouTube, and Rumble if you're looking for a free way to support the channel. I would highly encourage you to subscribe to those channels because that is free and it helps with the algorithm. So I will just thank you right now in advance for you supporting any way that you can. But guys, let's get into it. We're going to start with immigration. Fun that we have somebody saying save Venezuela in the chat already. I don't really know why or where that came from, but we haven't even gotten to the story about Venezuelan oil tankers, which we will. So brace yourself, Lucas. Senator Kelly, guys, this is in response to Minnesota's Attorney General. Let's just listen to this real quick.
Feeding our futures went to the state and said, if you stop giving us this money, we're going to call you racist and we're going to sue you. And you don't want to be in the news.
Or I just don't care about being called racist anymore because it's just tired.
Now, here's what, and you say, well, why didn't the employees do something? They did. They told the people higher up, the people with the flags in their office. And you know what they did? Nothing. You know why?
Absolutely.
Well, here's what the legislative auditor in Minnesota said. He said that the threat of litigation and the negative press affected how the state politicians use their regulatory power. And here.
Interesting. It's almost like they were trying to still get votes, so they ignored a bunch of fraud.
Here's what a fraud investigator in the Attorney General's office said. She said, there is a perception that, I'm quoting now, that forcefully tackling this issue would cause political backlash from the Somali community, which...
Don't care. Like, absolutely don't care. Not one bit. As far as I'm concerned, if the entire community is going to be upset about calling out fraud, then the entire community can leave. That's my stance on that. I don't know too many people that disagree. Shell, you are here. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. I did get my internet fixed, guys. I was really wondering. I cut the show down to once a week. I was really wondering if I was going to be able to go live tonight because my internet was giving me some more of the business. My tabs didn't want to load. Many things were happening that I'm glad I didn't give up, though. We're still here. I will be taking not one of my main cameras, but a smaller camera with me on my trip. I will also try and record some things on my phone So we'll see what happens on my trip. I will be out of state. I will not be in Northern Virginia for some time. Good to see me too. Thank you very much, Shell. I've looked better. I haven't shaved in a little bit. That's not really a big deal, though. But yeah, guys, 2 Haitian men are now facing up to 5 years in prison after being charged with SNAP fraud. Like, oh, snap. Boo. Yeah, $500,000 a month, totaling $7 million.
Massachusetts are charging 2 Haitian men with SNAP fraud now, totaling over $7 million. State officials say the 2 men pulled off the scheme by using small storefronts to redeem SNAP benefits up to $500,000.
It's almost like the story that we had last week, which was you see a lot of these immigrant communities are starting restaurants right next to grocery stores, right next to childcare facilities. All of them are linked. All of them are abusing SNAP. The SNAP benefits from the single or from the mothers. A lot of them listed as single mothers because it is multi-wife households where legally you can't have more than one wife. So many of them are just not listed as wives. So they're single and they have kids. So they have like 5 to 7 kids. They get a bunch of food stamps. They take those food stamps. They buy groceries for the restaurant. Yeah, it's crazy. They take their food stamps, buy groceries from their grocery store, give it to their restaurant. The grocery store claims a bunch of losses. The restaurant gets free inventory. They cook a bunch of food and sell it. The inventory costs them nothing because it was paid for by you and me.
Per month. If convicted,
$500,000 a month, guys. Like, can we even talk about how much money that is? $6 million a year, right? Like, meanwhile, you, me, the average person here in the United States is struggling just to make ends meet, guys. Like, not knowing how to pay all the bills at the end of the month. That seems to be the average person right now in the United States. Meanwhile, we have people who have no business being here in the first place that are taking advantage of U.S. taxpayers for $500,000 a month. Guys, that's 10 times almost the national average for individual income per year. And they're doing it per month. Against you, against me. Guys, as far as I'm concerned, this entire community can be denaturalized and deported. Anyone, any group that's doing this at scale, just get all of them. Bye. Just bye. The risk is too damn high. It is just ridiculous, Shell. I completely agree.
A new state audit claims several Maryland agencies exempt from the state's typical financial guidelines aren't putting their own safeguards in place to keep track of spending.
Oh, weird. Democrats didn't want to deal with safeguards for spending. It's almost like here, a Maryland audit turned up $8 billion in untracked spending, legalized 43 departments to skirt regulations. This is from Gardner himself. DOGE is a movement, not just a federal splash. State auditors are finally able to do their jobs without worry of showing their findings. Guys, California DOGE is out there doing great work. His entire group is out there coming together to audit state-level issues like this. Thank you, Shell, for reposting the stream. Since I'm watching the actual X chat, I can see when you do that. So thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you're in the audience right now, please post out this live stream to whoever you can on your social media, on your X, on your YouTube, your Rumble, wherever you might be watching from, guys. Please repost the live stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get those numbers up, please. Maryland audit. Yeah, guys, Maryland now. Democrats spent $8.5 billion with no oversight. Even worse, the Democrats exempted entire state agencies from complying with transparency laws.
Safeguards in place to keep track of spending. Well, Fox 45's Jeff Abel is looking
You're welcome.
into the audit. He joins us live right now with concerns from consumer advocates. Jeff.
Well, at issue here are $8.5 billion in state purchases, which auditors tonight are claiming happened with little or no oversight.
Okay, so we have another state, guys. We have Minnesota now. We have Maryland. How many of these blue states do you think are doing this? again, here's Minnesota, guys. $9 billion now. Up to $9 billion. I guarantee you it's 10x that at least. $9 billion in Medicare fraud just in Minnesota.
Prosecutor says half of Medicaid's $18 billion claims paid to Minnesota programs could be fraudulent.
Half. Guys, half of a program is fraud. Suspected. That means you get rid of the program. Right? You need to completely stop the entire program, make everybody reapply. This is similar to what the federal government did just not that long ago. Half of this benefit program is fraudulent.
Prosecutors charged 5 people in a Minnesota housing fraud scheme today. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson claims 2 defendants pocketed $750,000 to travel to international destinations instead of helping Medicaid recipients find stable housing.
So they just used $750,000 just for travel, to have fun, do whatever they were doing. Guys, this post means more and more every single day. Matt Van Swell says, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think I'm beginning to lose the will to be tolerant. To which Elon responds, if tolerance means the end of Western civilization, then we cannot be tolerant. Completely agree. If tolerance is going to end the West, as we see with this fraud, as we see with the violence in places like Bondi Beach, as we see so many things happening right now, guys, because of tolerance, because we're afraid to be called an ism or an ist or whatever nonsense word they're trying to use this week to shame us into compliance. If we are too afraid to stand up and say no, then the West is cooked. It's done. We already see it happening in Europe. We see it in Australia and the rest of the Commonwealth countries. And it's coming for us. And it's coming very quickly. And it's not going to be good. You got to remember, guys, one state. This was Alpha News reporting the First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson says $18 billion is paid out in 14 programs flagged as high risk for fraud in Minnesota since 2018. He suspects a significant portion was fraud. Said the fraud is not small. It isn't isolated. The magnitude cannot be overstated. It's staggering industrial scale fraud. It's swamping Minnesota and calling into question everything we know about our state. Okay. Chip Roy throws this in there. He's from Texas. For context, guys, Somalia's entire GDP is $13 billion. Exposure of Somali fraud in one state is $5 billion more than the annual GDP of their entire country. And that is money that is supposed to be U.S. taxpayer money. Guys, it's been 6 years basically on the books since that happened. That's $3 billion a year from one state, 14 programs. It really calls into question why I pay taxes at all, why I support the government at all. Look, just this week, I was trying to close on a home. To do so, I had to bring money to closing to sell this home because this home and the carrying costs associated with it are crippling me financially. So I decided, hey, look, I need to make up the difference. I'm going to explore all of my options. And you know what happened when I reached out to a bank to try and get help? As a U.S. citizen, tax-paying veteran, you know what the bank told me? The bank told me, no, we cannot lend you money. We cannot lend you money because the IRS rules don't allow it to be loaned to you to assist with closing costs, even though this is trying to keep me from being bankrupt, even though this would be trying to keep me and my kids from being homeless. The IRS rules don't allow the banks to lend me money under these circumstances. Thankfully, I was able to secure alternate financing to support that. But guys, I shouldn't have to. Why, as a U.S. citizen, why, as a veteran, why, as somebody who is struggling to pay their bills every month, why should I be left hanging because of government rules when government money is then being spent like this? Can you please tell me, anybody in the chat, if you can tell me why I shouldn't be furious that the IRS restricts helping me until I'm actually homeless? I can't make a hardship withdrawal from a 401k. I can't borrow money from a bank from a personal loan. I am out of options except for, like I said, I was able to secure some alternate financing to get me out of that. But now I'm in debt for a year to pay that money back at a higher interest rate, probably. Still negotiating the terms of that. But guys, I'm very unhappy with the current state of the way that our government treats its citizens and its money, because it's prioritizing non-citizens and it's prioritizing giving money to non-citizens instead of making rules that help out and aid citizens. I think it's crap. You have here Amuse posting that Minnesota cannot say how much SNAP fraud exists after a 174% surge in benefits. Auditors say eligibility was not checked and access is not controlled. Shell says that's ridiculous and makes me so upset. Yeah, guys, the way that the IRS and the government treat citizens is disgusting. Do better. Because again, if the good law-abiding people lose confidence that the system is going to work at all, it's not going to have a good outcome. It won't. And then we got these stories going into crime, guys. Rhode Island corruption alert. You got this story posted out by Gina Milan. Rhode Island police chief from Providence, Colonel Oscar Perez's nephew, Josh Perez, was sentenced to 22 and a half years in federal prison for running one of the largest fentanyl rings in the region, flooding Rhode Island and beyond with millions of deadly pills. He called his uncle a knowing and unwitting participant. Yet no local PPD, Providence Police Department, investigation ever occurred. How did this massive operation thrive under the nose of family in command? Rhode Island's deep-rooted corruption protected a drug kingpin while fentanyl ravaged communities. What is going on, Rhode Island? And as Aladdin points out, guys, this is wild. Literally, drug kingpin was the whose uncle was the police chief. Not surprised, guys. You see it a lot. You see Richard's comment there. Drug dealers working with police and dirty judges happen more than most people think. So it would seem. We also continue with crime. Guys, the person who committed the mass shooting at Brown University was named. They have found to have self-deleted. But Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, his ex-profile had only 79 followers, and one of them is Barack Obama? What? So let's watch this real quick, guys. They're going to scroll down. Goes, okay, how many followers does he have? Let's see. Well, verified followers. Barack Obama. Interesting. Very interesting. Why would Barack Obama be following? He doesn't follow everybody. He doesn't follow me. That's for damn sure. Not that I care. Following along with crime, guys. He is in the Commonwealth of Australia, right? We know this now because of the location feature in X. But Retard Finder's account posted this one this week because he told Anthony Albanese, one of the prime ministers, the MPs over there in Australia, says, we're getting dangerous guns off our streets with a national buyback. And he said, oh, F off, you incompetent retard. Good job, Retard Finder. But he said, if they arrest me, at least it will be one hell of a brief of evidence. Good job, Retard Finder. Keep it up. American Firearms Association, 2A Freedom, posted out. Didn't they ban all the guns in Australia? This is in response to that wild footage we saw where somebody stopped one of the shooters there on Bondi Beach But it's weird, right? There's all the calls for gun control now. Even though the terrorists had guns in a country that is heavily gun controlled already. He's awesome. Yes, Retard Finder is pretty great. And then we see this, guys. After every mass shooting from the left, and well, really from the left or right, they like to classify Islamic extremist violence as right-wing violence. So the left always demands law-abiding citizens who have no involvement to surrender their rights in the name of safety. Never give up your guns. And then I like this meme. This meme's good, guys. It says, give up your guns to stop gun violence. And it says, cut off your penis to stop rape. It says, I'm not going to rape anyone. It says, exactly. Fair point. Yeah, guys, why is it that anytime there is a shooting, it happens from somebody they categorize as right-wing, but we all know that's not. Islamic terror has been categorized by those who keep stats as being right-wing violence for a long time, even though we know that is inaccurate. Just like when they say that black people are white, they say Hispanic people are white. They say everybody who commits violence and gets booked for violence is white, almost. The stats are just totally jacked at this point, guys. But every time there is a mass shooting, even when it's a trans person, they always, they call for gun control. Well, it's already illegal to shoot somebody with a gun. It's already illegal to murder somebody. It's already illegal to brandish, which is aggravated assault, by the way, guys. Don't brandish firearms at people. It's illegal already. So you want to tell me how taking away the guns from the legal law-abiding people is going to help in a situation where obviously criminals don't care about the law? Here we got Scott Presser says strict gun laws in Australia didn't work. Law-abiding citizens were disarmed, not the terrorists. Yes, and I said, turns out the terrorists and criminals don't respect the rule of law. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Indeed. They never have and never will, guys. Like, they don't read no gun signs and say, oh, look, this is a gun-free zone, guys. I guess I'm going to turn around and go home. Guys, they're criminals. They don't care. But here's a real quick message from Aladdin after the shooting at Bondi Beach. So let's listen to what Aladdin has to say about this, guys. Cultural commentary from Aladdin himself.
My message to the Western countries after the massacre just happened in Bondi Beach in Australia. So here's my thoughts about it. And it's terrible. The Jewish people, they are going to keep getting targeted, no matter what, and no matter where. And that's just the Muslim doctrine. I can go very in depth into it. And
that was something I didn't know right away, right? This was actually a Jewish gathering celebrating the beginning of Hanukkah, apparently. So you have a right-wing person who's a criminal carrying a gun in a country that you're not supposed to have guns like this, guys, attacking a Jewish gathering. It's not going to stop.
Even in the scripture and the hadith, they talk about hunting Jews and everything. However, if the Western countries want to get a hold of this, they need to start deporting people ASAP. The more Muslims you bring, and statistically, Muslims have more kids than non-Muslim people.
That's true.
And what's going to happen?
We see that with the Somali community, guys, averaging like 6.9 or 7 kids.
And
we're averaging like 1.3, 1.5. Guys, they're having 3 to 4 times the number of children once they get here. This is one of the main reasons why birthright citizenship needs to end.
Already seen it in a few cities around the globe. They will overrun you and they start electing people or influence elections, and electing people advance their ideology and agenda. Not every Muslim is a terrorist.
That's true. They're not. But enough of them are where we should just say no. Guys, and like he just pointed out, you have people like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and the rest of their ilk that get into positions of authority, guys. Why do we allow people who are not native born to have any political power in this country whatsoever. Native born, natural born citizens only. It's not the way it currently is, guys, but that probably needs to change.
But
Oh, and I did miss the earlier comment talking about gun control, guys. Shell said guns aren't the problem, it's the people. Yes, guys, guns are a tool. Right? There's hundreds of millions of guns in the United States. They don't shoot people on their own. Most of the ones that do tend to be in the hands of criminals, like gang members, which they also like to include in the stats when they are trying to make their point. Say, look at how many mass shootings happen in the United States. They keep shifting the definition of what a mass shooting is. Is it 3 people? Is it 5 people? Who knows? But most of the mass shootings in the United States are actually gun violence that is perpetrated against gang members by other gang members. They're bad people, guys. If you took away all of the guns, you would end up with knife attacks instead.
you bring few of them or a bunch of them, and a few percentage of them, they're going to do heinous acts. But that's not the biggest issue, or that's not the issue here. The issue is, even if you bring moderate Muslims, they will start electing people that advance their ideology and agenda that actually does not align with any Western culture or society.
Yeah, guys, that's really the ticket, right? They're just getting here, they're becoming citizens, and then they are electing people, whether they're extremist or not. They're electing people that are pro-Islam, pro-Muslim. They may not be extremist either, guys, but eventually they're going to start trying to implement things like Sharia law here in the United States. And the answer to that is absolutely not. You get places like Dearborn where they have the call to prayer 5 times a day in public in the United States. Mostly peaceful memes here with this one, guys. The religion of peace strikes again. Days since that thing that never happens happened. And we're resetting that clock awful frequently. This is a meme posted by Rothmus with regard to gun control. Didn't they hear they banned claws? Says, we are finally safe, or not, because this is illegal. We need claw control. Guys, the hawks aren't listening. You got this also in crime from Matt Van Swol. Guys, over $3 million worth of meth was just discovered during a routine traffic stop near Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, Charlotte, guys. Charlotte is in the news for way too many things right now. Apparently, a lot of meth, 138 pounds of methamphetamine was found in this person's car, and their immigration status just happens to be unknown. What do you think that means, guys? I'm sure he's a white guy. Walter Felix White. And I didn't mean that white guy, but yes, apparently we just have meth runners also in North Carolina that shouldn't be here in the first place. Also, listen, in crime, I put this in crime. It's kind of politics. I couldn't really figure out where was a good fit. So these last 2 stories are government related, but they're falling in between crime and government. So here we go. Massive scandal. Fulton County admits they violated the rules in 2020 when they certified about 315,000 early votes that lacked poll workers' signatures. I'm sorry. You illegally certified votes in 2020? Say it isn't so, guys. Say it isn't so. It's not like we all already think and pretty much know at this point that they stole the 2020 election. I'm kind of glad they did. Our country is worse off after 4 years of Biden. That's for damn sure. But look at the Biden, or look at the Trump that we got because of the 4 years in Biden. Guys, I think we're having a better Trump second term now because of the nonsense from the Biden administration. So, like, it's not a total loss, but look at this. Georgia was won by Biden by 11,000 votes. And now they're saying that illegally certified 315,000. That thing that never happens happened again, guys, right? Illegal votes, illegal voting, voter fraud. It never happens. You got here 0 Hour posting this one, guys. They're so desperate. They're passing around Ivanka Trump as an Epstein victim, guys. They're just throwing censorship squares on random people's faces and pictures with President Trump to try and slander him. Just say it. Guys, the Democrats are willing to do anything. And it's kind of disgusting. But we get into this, guys. We're getting into government. We're going to start off with foreign issues right now. Poland has officially banned the Communist Party. We need to do the same thing, guys. The United States absolutely needs to do the same thing. Smart move. But Poland is also dealing with some other issues. We'll get to that soon. But that is their very low birth rate right now. But right here, Gunther here, not Gunther Eagleman, Belgian authorities, he's calling them to confiscate all tractors from farmers used in the violence against the police that did damage to public property. Guys, this is what the current messaging is about the anti-EU Brussels farmer protests. You can see here, you are Putinistas. They are slandering the farmers as supporters of Putin. I don't think they understand how dangerous it is to alienate the people that make their food and accuse them of being pro-communist because they are against the EU, which is literally a socialist government structure of the governments of Europe. So they have already dehumanized and turned the farmers into the enemies. Well, let's see. What are the farmers doing? Meanwhile, across France, a number of treasonous politicians, so this is the other side, are finding themselves shitted in their homes this winter because the French farmers have had enough. Well, what do they mean by shitted in? Let's see. That looks like a slurry tanker of manure. Oh, it's got music. Let's go ahead and mute that. Look at it. He's literally just dousing the side of this building with shit. And they're dumping bales and tires. Like, I don't know why they think messing with farmers is a good idea. They're all in possession of very large, heavy equipment. They are capable of many things, guys. They will stop all traffic going into these places. Thousands of farmers gather outside the headquarters in Brussels in a major stand against communism. Europe stands with the farmers. Guys, communism starves. True. Escape from the EU. Guys, the EU is so cooked at this point. But the government there is mad at the farmers. So they're going to keep saying the farmers are the enemy. Personally, I kind of like what they're doing, guys. They're standing up to the EU. The EU is not a good government. It's not. It's trying to censor speech. It's fighting Elon Musk and X just for existing because they won't comply with European censorship laws. Guys, X is an American company. We don't have to comply with European laws. You want to be stupid? Fine. We'll pull everything out. I still recommend this to Elon. I know Elon's probably not going to ever watch this, but Elon, my guy, please do me a favor and stop giving Europe access to anything that you have created. Pull their access to Starlink. Pull their access to X. Pull their access to everything. And then see if they want to keep fining you for not complying with their censorship laws. Like, no. Elon also pointing out here that there are now more anti-white laws than apartheid had anti-black laws. It's deeply wrong. The goal should be 0 race-based laws. This being reported after I Am Yes, You Are No has posted that South Africa has more race laws today than it did during apartheid, all aimed at the white minority. More anti-white racism. Racism in general is bad, guys. Meritocracy is the way that it should be. Some guy back in the day had a dream that their kids would be judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. I completely agree with that vision. So why are we seeing so many laws and policies that are being made based on race. It's very strange. I don't support it. It's not a good thing. So thank you, Elon, for posting about it. This one, holy ish, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele exposes the tax system we need to abolish the IRS. Yes, we do.
The real problem is not the high taxes themselves, but the fact that...
And there's music. It's the fact that they are not even really funding the government. Who's financing the government? The government is financed by printing money. Treasury bonds. Mostly the Fed. So the Fed, they sell treasury bonds. The Fed buys them. And how do they buy them? They print money. Yeah, what do they have for the money being printed? What's the backing? Oh, it's just the bonds themselves. So you finance the government by printing money out of thin air. Yep. Someone should ask, well, if the government can print unlimited amounts of money, why would they need taxes for it? Good point. I've brought this up on the channel before. So thank you, Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador, for talking about it. Guys, taxes are meant to soak money out of the economy to try and regulate and control inflation. Government programs are funded by the printing of money at the time that the legislation is passed. When the legislation says, hey, this thing gets this money on this date, that money is created out of thin air. They don't wait to see the account on the government side go up because somebody paid taxes, and then they go, okay, now we have the money. Now we can pay for this program. No, they print it. So if they can just print money out of thin air anyway, then yeah, why? Why? Why are we doing this? Interesting. It's a good question. I'm not sure, but I don't like it. You should definitely get rid of the IRS, guys. This one posted out by the Chinese embassy. The Chinese embassy is very upset that the U.S. has announced a package of arms sales to Taiwan worth up to $11 billion, one of the largest. And then they basically said it's the U.S. grossly violates the one China principle, where 3 China-U.S. joint communiques infringes on China's sovereignty. They count Taiwan as being part of China. So they're mad. Not that I care. But because we're selling weapons to Taiwan when China already considers Taiwan to be part of itself, even though it's not. It's interesting. Sorry, China. Deal with it. Chileans in MAGA hats torched the left in a landslide election win, guys. Latin America is rebelling against the socialist decay. You can see here a lot of flag waving. It's a warning shot to every Latin American country still chasing socialist fantasies. Now that they're in charge, he's not playing around. He plans to cut $21 billion in spending, ditch useless regulations, and bring back the free market engine that once made Chile a star. He also is ready to lock down borders and crack down on crime with a right-wing majority backing him in Congress. It's not just a win for Chile, it's a warning shot. Guys, this is very similar of what we saw in El Salvador and Argentina. These countries are turning against socialism, and I'm all for it. You got here Florida governor. We're now into the United States government. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped a massive news. Under his leadership, they have paid off half of the state's debt since taking office. Guys, this is wonderful. Gotta love it. Pay off debt. Do it. Nearly $2 billion a year is being saved by their taxpayers on principal and interest. Conservative governance at its finest. Just fiscal responsibility. Guys, we need more things like this. We need more of it. More financial responsibility. Getting us out of debt, not further into debt. The federal government should really take a page from this and figure out how to make it happen, because just printing money wantonly, willy-nilly, racking up our federal budget. Like we are almost, we're heading towards $39 trillion in debt, guys. That number is so insanely large. It's very hard to even comprehend. Like we're talking pallets of $100 bills that take up like football fields. Can't even wrap your head around that kind of money, guys. Like this, it'd be like the size of the Empire State Building, just stacked pallets of cash. We also have now started conducting airstrikes in retaliation to some attacks on U.S. forces that occurred on December 13th in Syria. Said it's not the beginning of a war, it's a declaration of vengeance. The United States, under President Trump's leadership, will never hesitate and never relent to defend our people. As we said directly, following these attacks, if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the U.S. will hunt you and find you and ruthlessly kill you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Secretary of War Hegseth. And here's a little video of this. Precision munitions, 100 plus, used on 70 plus ISIS targets in Syria. They're not messing around, guys. Precision munitions. Again, they're not starting a war, guys. It says, didn't we just have their president in the Oval Office? Yeah, he probably showed him a picture of his own house and said, guy, fix it before I do. And now we are. We also seized another one of these, but this story is actually about the first tanker. We did seize the second one. So this is the deal, right? Everyone's like, it's a Venezuelan oil tanker. Well, kind of. Team Hegseth, yes, thank you very much, Shell. I agree. Like, Hegseth is doing a great job. The Department of War is doing a great job. Trump is doing a great job. But here's the scheme, guys. Venezuela sends the oil to Cuba at subsidized price. Cuba then resells most of it to China for hard currency. Panamanian middleman Ramon Carretero manages the whole operation until Trump sanctioned him on Thursday. The skipper offloaded 50,000 barrels to another ship headed to Cuba, then sailed east to Asia. It's a classic Shell game. And before hauling Venezuelan oil, this tanker spent 4 years running Iran's dark fleet to Syria and China. Rubio's strategy is simple. Starve Cuba and Maduro falls. During Trump's first term, they almost toppled Maduro until Cuban security forces propped him up. Now they're cutting the cash pipeline that keeps both regimes breathing. So this is the idea, guys. This is why they're seizing these tankers. It's not that we need the oil. I mean, we'll take it, but that's not the point. But then we see here that a second tanker was seized today. Or at least the video footage was declassified today. People are mad in the comments about not having the unredacted Epstein files. I agree. Those should come out too. Mike Lee posted this one, though, guys. How interested would any of you be in doing this? It says, would any of you like to seize cartel assets as a privateer? My bill would allow the president to issue you a letter of marque. Time to take these pirates down. Guys, can you imagine modern day privateers? Like, get a letter of marque, put weapons on your boat, and go fight for bounties. Like this. Yes. Can we do this? Please. This would be amazing. Chad, if you ever watch this replay, like, please, let's make this happen. I will come down there and run one of the guns myself. Red-headed libertarian, Trump signed the order to reclassify marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. It has medical purposes. This was the right thing to do. She did correct herself as Tylenol with codeine is a Schedule 3 narcotic because codeine is a controlled substance. Guys, just makes sense. Like she said, there are medical uses for it. So it doesn't really fit as a Schedule 1 narcotic. Schedule 1 narcotics are supposed to be classified as ones that have no medical use whatsoever. So the fact that we've been using marijuana for medical purposes for decades now, it's just a change that makes sense. It's one of those things that many, many presidents said they would do but never did. Trump finally did it. Just like moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, right? How many presidents since as far back as like George Bush said they were going to do that? Never did it. Trump did. You got this one. Attorney General Dan Ray Field. We are filing a lawsuit challenging the Trump administration's unlawful new $100,000 fee for H-1B visas. They're mad. Well, J.D. Vance just points out, hey, how about you just try hiring Americans? Then you don't have to worry about that fee, and it's a non-issue. I think that's that actually makes a lot of sense. So let's just do that. You also got this map got put out. 2 weeks later, there are now 38 states with an average gas price below $3 a gallon and falling. Guys, the fact that even with the inflation we've had over the last few decades, the fact that gas is still under $3 now just shows you that really one of the only things right now that is kind of going against inflation is energy cost, which just goes to show you how much cheaper it actually is. Right? This is the real price. The inflation adjusted price in 2025 is now back under $3. Look, the value of the dollar has gone down significantly in the last few decades, guys, and yet we're still below $3 again. It's wonderful to see. We got the U.S. House passed the Protect Children's Innocent Act 216 to 211. This one really made a lot of Democrats mad. I saw a lot on X, guys, just really supporting those trans rights for children, which I thought they said that they don't treat people that are minors. They don't give them they don't do surgeries and stuff on minors, right? Except then they get mad when this happens. But it is now a felony. The bill is supposed to make it a felony to perform genital mutilation surgeries or provide puberty blockers and hormone therapy to minors. Yes. We should not be mutilating children because of the mental diseases of their parents. Like, you can't tell me that when a parent in Hollywood has 3 trans kids out of 3 kids, that's not an issue with the parent. It's statistically impossible. So I think this was the right move. This one of my favorite, Senator John Kennedy, everyone's favorite, guys. Let's a very short clip about Jasmine Crockett.
This is America, Laura, as you know. We all have the right to express our opinion. You're not free if you can't say what you think. And the Congresswoman has the right to her opinion. But I have the right to mine. And somebody needs to tell the Congresswoman. It'll be in her best interest. They need to tell her that the voices in her head are not real. This is America.
The voices in her head aren't real. Good point. This one, CNN just dropped devastating news for the Democrats, guys. Let's look at it.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%.
Ooh, that's low.
It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating is 61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
That's crazy, guys. Crazy results. We just got to keep it up. We also, it was announced this week, guys, Dan Bongino is going to be stepping down, hopefully to return to his microphone. It's kind of unfortunate, really. I don't think that he was having the impact that he thought he could. Derek Evans here says, I believe he finally realized that no one was going to be held accountable, so there's no reason for him to continue wasting his time. Guys, he gave up a very, very successful podcast show, like tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars he gave up to go serve. Lots of credit to Dan for doing it. But I think Derek's probably right here. I think he started to see all the obstacles that were going to be in the way of actually making a difference. And I think that he's, a little bit disenfranchised by the whole process. This one, Benny Johnson, this is how you kick off a press conference, Department of Health and Human Services, guys. Let's listen to the beginning of this press conference and see why it's making waves.
Men are men. Men can never become women.
Women.
Let's start that over real quick.
Men are men.
Yep. That is an accurate statement, guys. So far, no lies detected. Men are men.
Men can never become women.
Yes, biologically, that is a very accurate statement, guys. Men cannot become women.
Women are women.
Also true, guys. Turns out, women are women. Newsflash.
Women can never become men.
Also true. From a biological standpoint, guys, you can't alter your chromosomes. Gene therapy of that nature doesn't exist. This is based.
Children are innocent and they need our protection.
Yes, because they can't protect themselves. So what are we doing, right? Like, why are we allowing abortions to continue? Why are we allowing the mutilation of trans kids to continue? Why are we allowing these puberty blockers, which are actually just chemical sterilization medications? Why are we allowing that to continue, guys? I just saw numbers that it was like 28% or more, approximately 28% of Gen Z is already dead. I will repeat that. 28% to 33%, depending on what you look at, of Gen Z is already dead. Why do you think that is? I'll tell you. Abortion. Almost a third of the entire generation of Gen Z was aborted. And guess what? Gen Alpha, that number is higher. You want to know why we have a replacement problem? You want to know why we have to import so many people? Maybe it's because we're murdering entire generations of people. And I don't say we like people that I align with. I say we as Americans as a whole, we as the West are annihilating ourselves under the guise of freedom of choice. We abort more people by orders of magnitude than were killed in concentration camps in World War II. We abort more people probably since the onset of abortion. I bet you, if you looked up the actual numbers, Shell, if you want to look up the number for me real quick, the total numbers since the beginning of Roe v. Wade, I bet you that number is higher than the number of communism deaths from the 20th century. That was approximately 150 million. And don't even just do Roe v. Wade, do globally. Globally, what is the number of abortions estimated globally? I bet you it's higher than communism's death toll. For freedom of choice. It's gross. This story, Rubio had one of the longest press conferences of any Secretary of State ever, took questions from almost 50 journalists, often more than one per journalist, for over 2 hours. One of the most transparent administrations in history. Yeah, cool to see. Tommy Pickett, I think that's how you say his name. It's the Secretary of State deputy spokesperson. You got this. Trump secured construction of a $7.4 billion critical mineral smelter and processing facility in the great state of Tennessee. This will create 540,000 tons per year of mineral in America, guys. The Department of War will hold some stake in the venture because it also includes gallium, germanium, indium, antimony, copper, silver, gold, and zinc, critical to producing things at home without relying on China, including defense systems and semiconductors. It's a huge win, guys. Yeah, we need to start making shit here. It's just the way it is. 'Tis the season. Homeland Security, dear illegal aliens, fly home for the holidays. 'Tis the season for mass deportations. Again, the CBP Home app, guys, is now not the CBP One app. It's now the CBP Home app that you can use to self-deport before you get deported. You got POTUS in honor of the nation's founding in 1776.
1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend in honor of our nation's founding in 1776. We are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. Ooh. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody.
And you know what? The left is real upset right now because social media is full of videos of soldiers posting about them getting their $1,776 checks. Right around Christmas time, guys, that kind of money could really help some people out. It's a good use for tariffs. Like you said, pay our troops. Stop paying the Somalis who are ripping us off. Check out the profile, guys. Like I said, you can find the different ways to support there. Go to patriotdad.org. You can join the Patriot Dad family community. You can also go to that website and find the different ways to support me on top of sending me a tip directly here. You can see there, send a tip. Just the tip right here is tipping button on X if you look at the profile. So go ahead and check those out, guys. I would appreciate it. Getting into science and technology. No longer a placeholder, guys. NASA, geez. Rewind. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman is now the NASA Administrator. This changed this week, guys. His confirmation finally went through. And what happened? Right away, already publishing policy. Words are getting hard, guys. President Trump established the most significant national space policy since the Kennedy era. He made a commitment to return to the moon, establish an enduring presence there, and invest in technology of the future in pursuit of the secrets of the universe. With a relentless focus on the mission, it will lead a peaceful exploration of space, and we will never come in second place. Under this administration, we will continue to lead the world in space exploration with purpose and ambition. Yeah, executive order, guys, signed on the 18th, ensuring American space superiority. You got this. Artemis 2 is America's return to the moon, starting something much bigger. Thank you, POTUS. You have laid out a vision and given us the resources.
We're a matter of weeks away, essentially, within the...
Also, I love to see the orange suits making a return. Great look.
Next couple months, we're going to send American astronauts around the moon. Now, that's the first time we've done that in more than a half a century, but this is just one step on a far grander journey. So just today, the president released the national space policy. I was just in the Oval Office as he signed the executive order, where it commits the United States not just to returning to the moon, not just for the footprints and planting the flags, but actually building a base, establishing the infrastructure on the moon so that when we return, we actually can stay this time. We're a matter of weeks.
Yeah, guys, they want to go back to the moon and establish a permanent presence there. And then they want to start getting ready to pivot to Mars. So you can see here already Jared Isaacman and the Trump administration are making great announcements when it comes to space. SpaceX, this posted by XFreeze. If you're not following XFreeze, you should. Just completed its 550th booster landing. Booster 1093 stuck a perfect touchdown on Of Course I Still Love You after its 9th flight. More Starlink satellites from Vandenberg. From 2015 to today, that was on the 14th, guys. 550 booster landings. It's a crazy amount of savings. We had an anomaly in one of the Starlink satellites that was launched this week. One of the satellites actually had a small failure and is going to deorbit here shortly, but they were able to get a picture of it as Everyday Astronaut Tim Dodd here points out it's impressive. Over 240 kilometers away. Somebody got a picture of this thing. They imaged it within 24 hours, and they're glad to see that it's mostly intact. You guys, it had a failure. They believe it vented all of its propellant, and when it did it, it actually lowered its orbit when that venting occurred. So it is going to deorbit itself. It's an interesting anomaly. I think this is the first failure of its type from Starlink, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it doesn't come down in an uncontrolled fashion over somewhere populated. Elon here posting in response to people. You can tell this was targeted directly against the scientists that are doing things like ITER, right? The tokamak, all these other fusion experiments, spending hundreds of billions of dollars over decades to try and research fusion on the ground. He's like, guys, can we stop? The sun is an enormous free fusion reactor in the sky. It's super dumb to make tiny fusion reactors on Earth. If you burned 4 Jupiters, the sun would still round up to 100% of all power that will ever be produced in the solar system. Stop wasting money on puny little reactors unless actively acknowledging that they are just there for your pet science projects. Jesus effing Christ. I mean, yeah. Now, it is a source of infinite power if you can harvest it safely. Now, there is not a current way to do this, but you see Elon already talking about doing things like building data centers in space, putting up large solar arrays in space. This is the kind of thing that they need to try and start doing. But then you have to beam that power to the ground, which, guys, if you're beaming that much power to the ground, you better not miss, because you're going to microwave the shit out of something if you miss. Just remember that. Here's a picture, guys, of what it looks like to have 45 years of spent fuel safely stored at North Anna nuclear power plant owned by Dominion in Virginia. Each of the casks generated 5 billion kilowatt hours of electricity, enough to power nearly 500,000 homes each year. Yeah, guys, nuclear power just makes the most sense until we get to fusion or the ability to harness solar like Elon's talking about. Like, nuclear is really that bridge technology that just makes the most sense. And you can see here 45 years worth of fuel takes up not that much space. If we open the repository at Yucca Mountain, which was built specifically for the nation's spent nuclear fuel, and buried it there, guys, there's enough room there for all of the spent fuel that has ever existed. We have plenty of room to add more. So we should. We absolutely need to be building. I was talking with somebody this week. I was like, you know what? One of the main power problems that we have in the United States, residents are starting to complain about the increase in power costs, and they believe that a lot of that power cost increase is by AI and AI data centers in general, large companies that are consuming large quantities of power, making purchasing agreements and bargaining agreements with these utility companies. So I said, you know what would make a lot of sense? If, because we are currently power constrained, especially in the Northeast, right? Generation capacity is at its limit. We are not building new power plants as fast as we need to. I said, you know what would make a lot more sense? You make it a requirement that if you're going to build a new data center, if you're going to build a new factory, if you're going to build anything that takes a lot of power to run, rock wool plant, right? Anything that takes a lot of energy. Oh, you want to build an aluminum smelter. Fantastic. Good. Part of your siting and permitting requirements are going to be that you need to also help to build a small modular reactor that is going to help power your facility. That's it. You want to build a campus of 250 megawatts of something? That's fine. You need to build an SMR Voyager 12 from NuScale Energy, and you need to power that campus yourself. You can either run it islanded, or you can turn it back over to the utility But you need to power yourself. No more putting the burden on the taxpayers, guys. Why not? That just makes sense to me. What do you guys think? Throw something in the chat. What do you think about that? Make these large customers power themselves. I think that's what makes the most sense, guys. Boring Company with this one. Prufrock 3 is ready to dig its 5th tunnel, guys. In advance, the monster passed its final test, tilting the 480,000-pound shells 10 degrees. It'll tilt down and mine directly into the ground. Therefore, no concrete, no pit, zero civil prep needed. It can just tilt this whole thing up a little bit, and then it's just going to start drilling. No custom groundwork required. If you just look at how far that thing can tilt, like, that's impressive, guys. 480,000 pounds is heavy. Yeah, just put that trailer down like that, put it on the ground, turn it on, let it start burrowing. That's interesting. This one was a wild story, guys. I got this one. This one's actually pretty neat. This one says, my CISO called me at 3 a.m. Said, we caught someone. Said, caught him doing what? Typing. Let me explain. He said, we have an employee in IT, great worker, always online, never complained. Perfect Slack etiquette. One problem. His keystrokes were arriving 110 milliseconds late. 110 milliseconds. That's 0.11 seconds. The average American remote worker has a 20 to 40 millisecond latency. This guy, 110. Every single keystroke, 110 milliseconds. What's the big deal about that? He said they ran the numbers. The latency doesn't come from a bad router in Ohio. The latency comes from Pyongyang. Our senior DevOps engineer was a North Korean operative. Wrong button. That button. That's what I meant. A North Korean operative. There. We'll do that again. Running his work laptop through a laptop farm in America while he worked from a government building in North Korea. He passed the interview. He passed the background check. He passed the vibe check, whatever that means for these kids nowadays. Here's what people don't understand. It's about physics. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second, but it has to go through China. And China adds latency. Since April, Amazon has caught 1,800 of these attempts. 1,800. I called an emergency meeting with my board. I said, we need to implement keystroke velocity auditing across remote employees. And they said it sounds invasive. So you know what else sounds invasive? The Democratic People's Republic of Korea in your JIRA tickets. Yeah, that sounds pretty invasive. They approved the budget. Not surprising. Now monitoring keystrokes down to the microsecond. If your latency exceeds 60 milliseconds, you get a call from HR. If it exceeds 100, you get a call from the FBI. We've already flagged 47 employees. Turns out just 44 of them had bad Wi-Fi. 3 of them are still under investigations. The lesson is you can fake a resume, you can fake a background check, you can fake an American account on Zoom, but you cannot fake the speed of light. Physics is the ultimate background check. Hire accordingly. Guys, this is a super cool use of science. Applying a scientific principle to help with a real world problem. You see here, I got hired at Amazon, working from the U.S., right? From the U.S., right? Well, only one way to find out, guys. What is the latency of your input keystrokes? Thought that was super neat. And this is also super bad, guys. You got Bill Gates' lab-made butter is expected to reach supermarket shelves in 2027. It looks, smells, and tastes like butter we are all familiar with, but without the farmland fertilizers or emissions. The idea of switching to lab-made fats and oils may seem strange at first. This from Bill Gates. But the potential to significantly reduce our carbon footprint is immense. Karen is in the chat, reposting the stream. Thank you very much, Karen. And everybody else, if you're still watching, please repost the live stream. I would appreciate your efforts. How are you doing, Karen? It's good to see you. Guys, the whole climate change thing is a scam. It's bullshit. Don't listen to it. The fact that they're trying to pump you full of more artificial stuff, we have enough health problems already, guys. And we actually have a story coming up here real shortly about the differences in food between the past and now. And if you look at our health now compared to in the past, guys, I don't think going more artificial is the right answer. A lot of these third world countries, guys, that eat natural foods, you know what they don't have problems with? Diabetes. They don't have problems with, what do they call it? In wheat. The sensitivity to gluten. Karen says, hi, PD and Shell. I'm at dinner, but wanted to stop by and say hello. Hello, Karen. It's good to see you. British team, this is now culture, guys. British teen dropping a red pill.
In schools, they're pressuring us to learn about Islam and
Why are British school kids being pressured to learn about Islam?
learn about the people that are coming over. I don't want to learn about that. I want to learn about my culture, my beliefs, and I'm
Yeah, guys, why are British kids learning about Islam while they're importing all the Muslims? Doesn't really seem like something they should be teaching in school.
proud to be English.
Have they taught you about the Bill of Rights?
No.
Did you learn about the Battle of Agincourt?
No. In school, they were teaching us about Islam, about Prophet Muhammad, and all their ideologies. They barely covered Christianity at all.
Did they tell you about how he was a warlord who brutally murdered people?
No, they wouldn't say any of that. And when I tried to stand up and say that some of them things, I would get in trouble for it. Suspended from school because apparently I was being racist. I wasn't. I was just trying to,
You're questioning an ideology.
Yes, I was questioning.
Yep, that's right. They're going to try and silence you. They're going to just call you a racist, guys. We can't listen to this crap anymore. We have to stand up. We have to tell the truth. That's all there is to it. This one, Matt Van Swell posting, this was a 101-year-old World War II veteran, Bill Dillon. He said that he's lived under 22 American presidents and that Trump is his favorite. What? Then you do so and be quiet. One of you, not both. I'm 101 going on 102.
Nobody in this goddamn world who cares more for this nation than this guy that you're looking at. And I think Trump is not only the president of the United States, he is the president of the world.
Based.
And I think he does a fantastic job in negotiations. I'm 101 going 102. God damn it. Put a uniform on me. I'll go tomorrow.
That's awesome. Put a uniform on me. I would go tomorrow. This guy's 101, has more patriotism in his little pinky finger on his one hand than most of the panty waist coming out of what they call men nowadays in Gen Alpha and beyond. We need more people like him. You also got here another story for culture. Jake Lang. Islam has officially declared war on the Western civilization. Let's see what he has to say.
Who wants to see ice in Plano, Texas? It's an existential threat. Lord God, thank you in Jesus' name for keeping everybody safe today, God. Thank you. We're grateful as Americans you've given us this right inside our own lifeline, our own lifeblood, God, to demonstrate the protest, to speak our mind, God. Thank you for freeing us from the chains of tyranny many years ago, God. Never let us fall. Never let us become weak-kneed men. God, let us not become double-minded men. Let us be strong and singularly minded. Let us not...
Saying a prayer, a Christian prayer against the Islamification of the United States. Guys, this is what we need to do. We need to be standing up. We need to be saying things publicly, just like Jake. People may not like it, but the United States is a Christian country. The fact that we have people in charge and globalists that want to make it otherwise, too bad. Too bad. You also got this. Let's go.
We are wise to your wicked plans that you have taken over Europe. America will never fall like Europe has fallen.
Guys, we got to make a lot of changes before that happens because we're on our way there.
Because our people here are strong. Our people here are righteous Christians who will not sit on the church pews, but we will take to the streets. We will fight back. We will stand tall in the face of the pedophile prophet Muhammad. Here's your kryptonite, Muslims.
He's up there making a speech carrying a piglet. It's pretty based, guys.
Here is your kryptonite. We will drive you to the sea, across the sea, back to where you came from, with pigs in our hands and Jesus in our hearts. You cannot stand against the strength of white American men. You Muslims need to go home before we send you packing. I suggest you leave now before the crusades really start.
Guys, this is the messaging that's out there right now. These people are getting more and more upset. People are more and more divided. Again, if people lose confidence in the systems that currently exist and they think that they have no other choice than to take action instead of use words, it is not going to be a good outcome. The politicians need to start paying attention. Stop caring about the short-term gains of their stock portfolios. Stop caring about the bribes that they are receiving. Because if everything unravels, what is all of that worth? What is it worth? Here's some more stories. I was telling you we're going to get to it about global warming and cows. Well, what do we actually have to do to save the planet? We need to raise more cows and eat more beef, because it turns out the University of Nebraska did a study that proved that cows are actually carbon negative. Through grazing, they drive grass growth that produces more oxygen than the methane and CO2 they emit. Than they emit.
You'll be reading it, so it's not coming from my mouth. I'm not making it up. But the University of Nebraska just got done with their one of their studies that the way to...
God, people need to start using wind filters on microphones. Like, how many videos have I played on this channel that is people with wind noise?
Save the world on carbon is raise more cows. Okay. And that's because cows are carbon negative. Okay. They produce more oxygen than they put off methane and carbon.
It means to eat more cheeseburgers or steaks, right?
I'm all about it, but that also requires government getting out of the way. Right now, government policy is making beef cattle more expensive for us as the consumer. You got these big backlogs at slaughterhouses and inspected facilities to process meat, causing the costs to go up, causing facilities to close. It's not good. You got Then and Now Gardner here with this post, Thursday throwback to what was not in our food. Look at that then, Gatorade. Water, sugar, dextrose, salt. That is all that was in it before. Now we have water, sugar, dextrose, citric acid, natural flavors, salt, sodium citrate, monopotassium, phosphate, modified food starch, glycerol, ester of rosin, and caramel color. Why? Let me mute that. Why? You got this. Ben & Jerry's used to be cream, milk, sugar, eggs. Now what is it? Cream, skim milk, water, liquid sugar, glucose syrup, coconut oil, eggs, and cocoa. Why? Used to be macaroni, wheat flour, cheese powder, cheddar cheese, milk, salt, enzymes. Cool. Now what is it? I'm not even going to try and read all that shit because it's awful. But look at all those chemicals, guys. Why? Then versus now, potatoes, beef tallow, vegetable oil. Mostly beef tallow, guys. That was the best way to do it. Now, potatoes, vegetable oils, hydrogenated soybean oil, dextrose, sodium, acid, phosphate, citric acid, and dimethyl silazane, whatever the hell that is. That sounds like it shouldn't be in your food. Just saying. Campbell's chicken stock, noodles, chicken. Now, chicken stock, enriched egg noodles, chicken, modified food starch, water contains less than 2% of salt, yeast extracts, monosodium gluten, MSG, potassium chloride, hydrolyzed soy protein, flavoring, dehydrated, mechanically separated chicken is now less than 2%. Sounds gross. Yoplait yogurt, cultured pasteurized grade A milk, strawberry sugar, and pectin. Now we have cultured pasteurized grade A milk, sugar, strawberries. Sugar has more of an ingredient than strawberries. Modified cornstarch, fructose, non-fat milk contains less than 1% of natural flavor, tricalcium phosphate, agar, citric acid, potassium sorbate, color, carmines, and vitamin A acetate. It's probably beetle shells. Cheerios, whole grain oats, brown sugar. Now, whole grain oats, cornstarch, sugar, salt, potassium phosphate, soybean oil, natural flavor, vitamin E. Why? If you have an autoimmune disease, avoid the toxins at all costs. Comment immune if you would like to learn. Yeah, so guys, there's a lot of health consequences to eating a lot of this stuff. If you're feeling a little under the weather, why don't you try just eating food that's closer to how it exists in nature? Most of my diet has shifted to be rice and beef or rice and chicken. Some yogurt. It's worked out pretty well. Yeah, here, Poland's fertility rate has dropped sharply, hitting 1.1 and is expected to fall to 1.05. It's one of the few countries not importing migrants right now, guys, but they are disappearing. This is not good. We need to have more children. But let's see what Gardner posted. This one says, she's not wrong. Well, let's see what she says.
Some of y'all spend more time moving an elf around the house.
Oh, the elf on a shelf. Yes.
Than moving your kids towards Jesus.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah, guys, you definitely need to spend more time focusing on things like biblical values, Christianity, taking time to have dinner as a family, many other things that we could do. Like elf on a shelf is it's just like low-key just dumb. Who cares? Like, why are you trying to teach your kids, oh, pay attention to this stupid elf on a shelf? Like, no. If they do something wrong, discipline them. Teach them the ways of the world. Raise them right so that they don't make stupid mistakes going forward. What are they going to think in the future if all they think the consequences come from is some shitty little elf on a shelf? They're going to go be terrible people in public because they're going to say, look, there's no elf on a shelf to see me here, so F off.
That elf ain't saving nobody.
True. That's what Jesus does. Jesus saves. Yeah, based grandma. Love it. We're going to get into memes, guys. This one's less of a meme. It's just a Babylon Bee reference, guys. Groundbreaking new study finds that Islamophobia may be partially caused by Muslims killing people all the time. Maybe. You have those three pictures. You have 9/11. You have a bunch of Christians being murdered on the beach. I forget what country that was in. And then the Bondi Beach shooter. Yep. I know, weird, right? Like, who would have thought that them killing people a lot would make people not like them? You got this one, guys. Trump put plaques under pictures in the hallway for presidents, guys. This one for Obama is hilarious. So we can read this with each other real quick. It says, Barack Hussein Obama was the first black president, a community organizer, one-term senator from Illinois, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. As president, he passed highly ineffective Unaffordable Care Act, resulting in his party losing control of both houses of Congress in the election of the largest House majority since 1946. He presided over a stagnant economy, approved his terrible Iran nuclear deal, and signed the one-sided Paris Climate Accords, both of which were later terminated by President Donald J. Trump. Under Obama, the ISIS caliphate spread across the Middle East, Libya collapsed into chaos, and Russia invaded and took Crimea in Ukraine. He crippled small businesses with crushing regulations and environmental red tape, devastated American coal miners, and weaponized the IRS and federal bureaucracies against his political opponents. Obama also spied on 2016 presidential campaign of Donald J. Trump and presided over the creation of the Russia hoax, the worst political scandal in American history. His hand-picked successor, Hillary Rodham Clinton, would then lose the presidency to Donald J. Trump. Oh, guys. No lies detected. It's good to see. Hunter Eagleman posted this one, and just like that, guys, Democrats don't like weed anymore because Trump signed the executive order. So Trump derangement syndrome dictates that now they have to hate it. It'll be interesting to see everyone shift away from promoting marijuana and start talking about how evil it is. Maybe it was just 4 and 5D chess. We'll see. This one in reference to the Commonwealth countries, but it says, yeah, no. Sorry, this is Peter, St. Peter at the pearly gates, not admitting somebody into heaven. But it says, no, you gave your grandfather's World War II guns to a gun buyback for an Applebee's gift card. It's like, nah, bro. Nah, you ain't getting in here. Get out. Get out. This one, final meme that I have pulled myself, and then I'll check my DMs here in just a second, guys. But the Australian government solution to the Bondi Beach shootings is blame the gun owners, defend mass migration, and arrest those who disagree and call them hate speech laws. The Commonwealth, guys, is cooked. Like, I don't know any other way to say it. I don't. Do you? When your government is willing to defend invaders and murderers instead of you, like, I don't think everything's okay. I don't think they're okay at all. Going back, pulling a couple of stories here that were posted by Shell. Shell says this one, Franklin welcomes Nicki Minaj to the squad. Oh, yeah, Nicki went pro-MAGA here. She's really not happy with the Democrats. Good to see. Thank you for sharing that one, Shell. You got this one. Meet MAGA Christmas. More Franklin. Nicki Minaj, JD Vance, President Trump, Chucky doll. I don't know where that one came from. And it is a musical, so I will put this in post YouTube as well so we can watch that. And then you have Franklin honoring Charlie Kirk. Love to see it. Love to see it. Gardner here with some Chileans have that story already. Pro-EU, Bulgaria resigned after 6.5 million Bulgarians protested for 2 days straight. Love to see it. Freedom fries. See this one real quick. Someone posted up by Gardner. AI JD Vance making some freedom fries with Trump. Learning how to use the fries cooker, the fry cooker. I don't know what you guys call it. I never worked at McDonald's. Working the fry station. How about that? Love to see it. And then let's go with West Virginia. What do we got? Let's see. Trump fighting. Just looking back, looks like we got some Karen memes. Okay. I'll go back to, looks like, okay, we got some from last week that I'll also pull up. Me showing off the bigot badges the left has given me. Yeah, guys, they just call you a bigot no matter what. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. How about this one? I'd like to solve the puzzle. Common phrase. Tim Walz is a... Can you solve the puzzle? Oh, that's a good one, guys. That's good. We got this one. I hope my grandchildren become minorities in their own country. I hope they someday boys can be girls. Yeah, guys, these are definitely not the values that our grandparents and their parents fought for this country. They didn't want this shit. Like, we need to stop it. So then now they're defending narco terror. Yes. Because of Trump derangement, guys, they will defend anything. You got this one. Maryland dad goes fishing. Those Blue Barrel fishermen. Gotta love them, guys. During the holiday season, how can you not support your local Blue Barrel fishermen? And then you got this one, guys. When the nice white lady takes you to meet your dad for the first time. Oh. Karen. That is a brutal one, my guy. Oh, man. can always count on Karen for a good spicy one. What about, do we have anything from Crispy? Nothing this week from Crispy. That's okay. We'll get you on another week, Mr. Crispy. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to ditch you. Oh, you know what I just realized? The way that I set up the stream. Oh, no. I need to reconfigure how I have the stream set up. Can I change this? I cannot change it while we're streaming. Okay, guys, I'm going to take the post YouTube ones and we will play those next week. I am multi-streaming on OBS. Set up YouTube as the primary, so I can't turn it off without turning off the stream. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't want to play these videos without the audio. Like, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. The whole reason I save them to the end is because they have music. So I apologize. I will make it up to you next week. I promise. But guys, thank you very much for coming out. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate your support as always. I hope you have a great week. I will be in a different state next week, but I will be doing my best to bring you this show anyways. I'm going to put all of these streaming assets on a thumb drive and see what I can do. So wish me luck, everyone. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and a wonderful Christmas week. I won't see you before then, so I'm going to tell you now, Merry Christmas, everyone. Not Happy Holidays. Merry Christmas. I love you all. Thank you very much. Hope you have a wonderful week. Spend some time with your family. I love you guys. Remember, we're in an evil world, like we just saw in Australia. Choose to do good.